right now on 5 on your side at 10.
No independence from the heat and humidity, and breaking down which 4th of July activities will take place under the latest heat advisory.
Plus, an airline allegation about who gets bumped off an oversold flight. We verify if how you bought your ticket matters. But first tonight, broken hearts. The CBC high school community in mourning after a former football standout is shot to death.
He inspired me for sure, and I think he's inspired a lot of other guys.
Good evening, I'm Ann Allred. Mike Bush has the night off. Family has identified the victim as 25-year-old Damian Baker from Florissant. Baker was killed in a double shooting that also injured a woman early this morning near 7th Street, just south of Busch Stadium. 5 on your side's Mercedes McKay is live there tonight with reaction from those mourning the former football star. Mercedes?
And unfortunately, a lot of people grieving from Baker's loss tonight. Let me just take you through where this all happened. So police say the shooting occurred right across the street from me around 3 o'clock this morning on South 7th Street near Busch Stadium. Obviously, we are right in front of patios. Kilroy's is in front of me. So this is a very popular place for people to spend their weekend nights. And after speaking with Baker's friends and family, it's clear to see that in his short time here, the 25-year-old really left a legacy.
Damian was kind of one of those guys that stood out to me among those guys that I looked up to.
A blessing to CBC and the world. That's how former teammate Nino Schmidt describes his friend who tragically lost his life early Sunday morning.
It kind of just takes you back to those memories. I mean, it feels like so long ago, but at the same time, it feels like it was just yesterday.
He says back in high school, Baker was not only a standout player on the football field, but a stand-up guy off the turf.
And I think he's inspired a lot of other guys that you don't have to be either a great football player or a great academic. You can be both.
Baker helped lead the undefeated CBC football team to a state championship in 2014. After hearing of the loss of one of their own, the CBC football team released an official statement on Twitter saying, "Our hearts are broken by the news of Damian's tragic passing. He meant so much to so many throughout the St. Louis community. We are praying for his family and friends." But even those who didn't know Baker are brokenhearted because of the continuous crime downtown.
I think our city is trying to do their best to prevent some of those things, but we'd like to see more done to prevent some of these tragic things from happening.
Since Friday morning, at least 16 people were shot in St. Louis, with 4 dying from their injuries. Community members are pleading for the violence to end.
Just want to see people love each other.
We're still learning more about what actually led up to the shooting. What we know now is that it all started when a man was trying to steal the couple's SUV, and then someone else fired shots at the pair. When I spoke to Baker's mom, she said she wants her son to be remembered by his smile and the way he lit up every room. We'll obviously continue to follow this story as we learn more. Live in downtown St. Louis, Mercedes McKay, 5 on your side.
In less than 14 hours from now, a heat advisory will go into effect in the St. Louis region. Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott tonight, tracking the dangerous heat and humidity returning just in time for the 4th of July celebrations. Jim?
It does really start up on the 4th, and so at noon is when the heat advisory for all counties begins. And it lasts through at least Wednesday night. It could be extended into Thursday and Friday. So the issue is tomorrow, mid-90s around St. Louis. Then you factor in that humidity, and the real field temperature is already up to almost 100 at 11 a.m., 103 at about 1 o'clock, 106 at 3, possibly as high as 107 for tomorrow. Then it gets even hotter as we head into the next few days after that. So I'll have much more in the forecast in just a few minutes. 83 degrees right now. The high today was 89. That's a new updated temperature. And look at this, a little bit of cloud cover streaming in. A couple of storms popped up in central Missouri and even around Park Hills. So the debris clouds from that moving in. So we're going to call it partly cloudy tonight. There's a big storm right there near Eldon, just to the east of there in the Lake of the Ozarks. That should stay away from us tonight, but spotty storms are in the forecast, but most of us will stay dry for the 4th. And I'll have that to forecast for you coming up, Ann.
Thank you, Jim. The weather was much better today for Fair St. Louis after that rainy day yesterday. The turnout was better for the food vendors who've set up shop on the streets of downtown this weekend. Organizers of the new location for the festivities at Keener Plaza and Ballpark Village allowed space for many more vendors and food trucks. It also helps keep the tradition of making the fair inclusive and accessible for everyone.
For 41 years, the fair has really provided, this gift to the St. Louis city and surrounding area, and it could not happen without the wonderful sponsors and donors that we have. It's a long list of those that really help contribute to make sure that this fair happens and keeps it free for everyone.
The third and final day of Fair St. Louis gets underway at noon tomorrow. Tomorrow's entertainment lineup includes Plastic Kings, Just in Time, and a 90s house party featuring Color Me Bad, Montel Jordan, Coolio, Tone Loc, and Young MC. Fair St. Louis caps off tomorrow night with a fireworks spectacular. Organizers promise it's the biggest show they have ever produced, and it begins at 9:30. There are several other fireworks displays taking place tomorrow night on both sides of the river. For a full list of those and to see where it's legal to buy and set off your own fireworks, text the word fireworks to 314-425-5355 and we'll send that information to your phone. Missouri schools will soon become a safer place for students with seizures. Governor Mike Parson signed a new bill into law requiring school nurses and staff to follow personalized response plans. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is here to explain how it all started with one mother who took her story to Jefferson City.
And Will's law will prepare teachers and protect students with seizures in Missouri classrooms. We recently met Will and his mom, Casey, at his daycare and quickly learned how their family's fight with a rare, aggressive, often deadly form of epilepsy upended their lives and altered their expectations.
When Will was born, I was still like, as soon as he's able to get out of a crib and a toddler bed, bunk beds. And then he started having seizures.
A devastating diagnosis dashed Adam and Casey Kapp's dreams 5 years ago.
I pictured his life looking very different.
They got a service dog to help detect Will's seizures and adjusted to the challenges of life at home. But now leaving the house for daycare or school brings other complications.
I was getting ready to walk out the door and they called me that Will was having a seizure. And I cried the whole way here because my life is a balance of taking care of Will, but also being there for my other children.
Today, Will's mom relies on experienced nurses and staff at the Taylor Early Childhood Center. But in other settings,
Will is a lot of people's first seizure that they see. Seizures make people very nervous. They want to help, but they don't know how.
I absolutely understand the being nervous part.
Wherever Will goes at school, his aide, Kylie Holder, goes with him.
When Will starts his seizures, I will get him comfortable and I will open this up, and he has a magnet inside his chest. And I will take out this little watch, kind of looks like an Apple Watch, and you rub it on his chest.
Will suffers from Dravet syndrome, a rare form of aggressive epilepsy. There is no cure, but there are ways to care for him in a safe environment.
He is just like any other 4-year-old child. He is obviously playing, and he loves toys, and he loves snacks.
While Will's illness is rare, seizures can be far more common. A CDC report found 470,000 American children living with seizures.
And not a lot of people understand epilepsy.
Now, a mother's love for her son is making classrooms safer for kids with seizures across the entire state.
But I've kind of turned that sadness into fierce advocating for Dravet syndrome, for epilepsy in general.
Capps persuaded Missouri lawmakers to require schools to form a medical plan and train teachers how to respond in a crisis. But there are other lessons learned in those harrowing moments of uncertainty.
My son has been intubated 10 times. All 10 of those times we thought that this might be the seizure that ends his life. And to see your child or your brother go through that again and again, whatever, life just stops in that moment, whatever you were doing stops.
It's in those moments when Will's big brother finds ways to brighten his darkest days.
He is also such an empathetic person. Doesn't see people with disabilities as being different or less. He just talks to them, even if they're nonverbal, like he would any other kid.
And while Will may not talk like other kids his age, he sure can communicate. A moving reminder to love those you hold dear.
Our family as a whole, we don't take anything for granted.
Even after all he's been through, Will is fearless. He'll just walk right up to strangers and give them a big hug. Now there's a law with his name on it that could help save the lives of other kids he's never met. It's no easy task to change state laws, but you can never bet against a mom looking out for her son.
The 4th of July is about celebrating the stars and stripes. Tonight, we're learning more about Old Glory's 13 Folds of Honor. Too many passengers, not enough seats. Is your chances of being bumped from a flight based on where you buy your ticket? We verify.
Hot and steamy. I'll tell you how long this new stretch of heat will last. Plus, any more rain chances? I'll have the latest update coming up.
When we think of July 4th, many of us think of barbecues and fireworks, but it really represents the birth of our nation, which is why it's a good time to remember our veterans. Here's Mike Bush.
There's just one more day to donate to this year's Folds of Honor campaign sponsored by Schnucks. Folds of Honor provides scholarships to families of fallen and disabled service members. In tonight's Making a Difference report, with the help of photojournalist Tom Stasiak, we learned about the group's symbol and what it represents.
Marines, detail front and center. The first fold is a symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol in the belief of eternal life. The third fold honors and remembers the veterans who have gone before us so that we may enjoy peace, liberty, and prosperity. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as Americans trusting in God, it is to Him we turn for divine guidance in times of peace as well as in times of war. The fifth fold is a tribute to America. In the words of Robert Decatur, our country, in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but she is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is for where people's hearts lie. It is with their heart that they pledge allegiance to the flag and the country for which it stands. One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through our armed forces that we protect our country against all her enemies, foreign and domestic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered the valley of the shadow of death, that we may see the light of day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood and mothers, for it is through their faith, their love, loyalty, and devotion that the character of the men and women who have made this country great have been molded. The 10th fold is a tribute to our fathers, for they too have given their sons and daughters for the defense of our country. The 11th fold represents the lower portion of the seal of King David and King Solomon and glorifies, in the eyes of Hebrews, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies, in Christian eyes, God the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit. The 13th and final fold, when the stars are uppermost, is to remind us of our national motto, "In God we trust."
The Schnucks Folds of Honor campaign wraps up tomorrow on the 4th of July, and there is still time to make a donation, just simply rounding up at the register when you buy groceries for that holiday barbecue. 5 on Your Side is a proud partner of the campaign.
More than 300 service members and their families were honored at Fair St. Louis tonight. It was all part of the annual Salute to the Troops. The service members got the 4-star treatment with VIP privileges, free food, drinks, gift bags, and close access to the concerts.
This is an incredible thing, especially for our families. Like, it is just remarkable to be able to come here in St. Louis in this wonderful setting and our families just be treated so well.
Folds of Honor families were also invited to take part. A patriotic display over West St. Louis County tonight. Just minutes ago, the city of Twin Oaks wrapped up its fireworks display. Again, for a full list of fireworks displays in your area, around the region, text the word fireworks to 314-425-5355. A hot night for fireworks, but Jim says it's going to get even hotter for the 4th. Jim.
It is. So today's high 89, tomorrow 96, and we're going to go up near 100 by Tuesday and stay there and throughout the rest of the week. So look at this, what's going on tonight. So Park Hills, Bonne Terre, and also Farmington and Deloge had a downpour and very heavy storms. That all died out, but then look at all the cloud cover starting to stream in from clouds and storms out to the west of us, and even right in central Missouri. This is Jefferson City. Not a severe cell, but even after sunset, it's impressive that it has a lot of lightning with it. It's bubbling up north toward Jefferson City. It should die out. We're not worried about that tonight or tomorrow. They'll be very spotty once again for the 4th of July. So 89 for that high today, and that is exactly on track for the average of 89. 73 for the overnight low, and 71 is the average. 0 in terms of rainfall in St. Louis, but Deloge had over an inch of rain. So here is the heat advisory that starts up at noon tomorrow and goes to at least 11 p.m. on Wednesday. And they may extend that too, because it's still going to be hot Thursday into Friday. So on the 4th, 96 for the high in St. Louis, 9 o'clock temperature for the fireworks, 88. Should be dry, hot, humid, and a slim chance of an isolated storm like we had down around Park Hills today. So most of us will stay dry though. High pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere really cooking and building right over the heartland and right over us. So then that sends the storms up to the north and even around Chicago. A chance of seeing that for tomorrow and tomorrow night. Maybe some severe weather there. For us, it is hot, it is humid, and stays that way all the way for the rest of the week. But there it is, a slight chance of storms, severe storms in Chicago, northern Illinois, maybe down through central Illinois, and so just missing our area. We may see a spotty shower or storm. Here it is, the futurecast. Most of us staying dry, as you can see, but that risk of seeing a pop-up storm is there all the way throughout the week. So limit the physical activity outside, drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, check up on your friends and neighbors, because it is going to be hot. Stay out of the sun unless you have a pool. A pool's a good place to be, or stay inside and play chicken foot or maybe some cards. All right, 10-day forecast showing 96 for Monday. That's the 4th. 100 Tuesday, 100 on Wednesday, 99 Thursday, and maybe 98 on Friday, but a chance of storms here. If the heat breaks this weekend, we might see some good storms maybe Friday night into early Saturday, and then it's dry next week and heat's right back up again.
I'm all about being excited about the next weekend.
Yeah.
Chicken foot?
Yeah, chicken foot, Domino's.
Oh,
yeah,
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll teach you.
Thank you, Jim. Getting bumped. It's a long-standing practice of airlines, right? We verify if your discounted ticket makes you a likely candidate. Let's take a live look at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. There were a small number of delays today. Nationwide, it has been another turbulent holiday weekend for the airline industry. Tonight, dozens of flights have already been canceled for tomorrow. There have been hundreds of cancellations this weekend as airlines deal with reduced schedules and staffing issues. On Friday, the TSA screened more than 2.4 million passengers. That is the highest number in 2 years. Flying is more of a headache these days, some might say. Now there's a viral Facebook post giving travel tips from an anonymous flight attendant. Our Verify team is looking into whether they're true. Here's Megan Bragg.
This Facebook post going around social media that gives 19 flying tips, but today we're going to look at number 14. It says if a flight is oversold and no one volunteers to give up their seats, who do you think is the first to be bumped? You guessed it, the family that saved a few dollars by using sites like Expedia, Kayak, Hotwire, etc. So is this true? Let's verify. Our source is Willis Orlando, senior flight expert from Scott's Cheap Flights, Crystal Agondo, Points Diva founder, American Airlines, and the U.S. Department of Transportation. When we went to Orlando and Ogondo for this question, both had the same answer.
That is not true.
There is not actually any truth to this statement that folks who book through an online travel agency like Expedia, Priceline, or the like are more likely to be involuntarily bumped.
American Airlines saying something similar. They told me, in short, the answer is no, that is not the case. However, Orlando says if you book a basic economy fare, but you haven't accumulated a lot of frequent flyer miles with that airline, then you could get bumped.
Those are the folks who are the first ones off the plane. People with that kind of cheapest fare class, no status with the airline, generally first priority to be taken off.
But how likely is it to get involuntarily bumped?
Your chance of being involuntarily bumped from a flight is about 1 in 20,000.
In the first 3 months of 2022, 7,333 passengers were involuntarily bumped out of 191 million who took to the skies.
Airlines have a really strong incentive to not involuntarily bump you. This is why they do it so incredibly rarely.
So we can verify that no, you are not automatically first on the list to be bumped if you book through a third-party website. However, if you book basic economy through one of these sites and you don't have standing with the airline, you could be more likely to get bumped. Now, Gano says the best thing to do is book through the airline's website. That way, if your flight is canceled or delayed, you can work with them directly and not through a third-party site. Now, we did reach out to other airlines about their policies. We will update our website when they get back to us. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
What would you like for us to verify? Send an email, verify@ksdk.com. What's the 4th of July without a cookout? The must-have dish based on which side of the river your gathering is taking place. In about 12 hours from now, the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest will get underway on Coney Island. The GOAT, Joey Chestnut, is hoping to beat the record he set last year of eating 76 hot dogs and buns in just 10 minutes. To prepare, the 14-time winner has spent all weekend on a diet of only lemon juice and water. Chestnut is competing with a broken foot, but hey, you don't eat with your feet. I'll be fine. Headed to Cookout tomorrow? If it's in Missouri, you might want to bring a bowl of potato salad. According to the online gambling site Time to Play, it is the most popular 4th of July dish in the Show Me State. Over in Illinois, baked beans is the top favorite. These findings were based on top Google searches. That is all of our time for 5 on your side at 10. Now here's Ahmad Hicks with Sports Plus.